Good morning. Today is July 23rd. It is 5:17 in the morning. I'm here, I'm doing it. Thank you very much for coming in, visiting me, saying hello, stopping in. Today we're finishing up our series on productivity with the analogy of the airplane, the pilot, and what we're going to talk about today is the engineer. And just briefly, we talked about the pilot is the person that sets the course. He's the one that chooses the direction. So in regards to your goals, he's the person in your brain, essentially, that's gonna pick the goals out and give instructions to the rest of the crewmates that this is the way we're gonna go, and this is our destination. Secondly, we talk about the plane. The plane is the vehicle that carries you and that gets you onto your way. And yesterday we said that we spend 80% of our time in plane mode. Here's my mile, by the way. Just finished that up. We spend most of our time in plane mode, getting us from point A to point B. And the main thing we do is we stay on the plane. Don't get off. Don't stop the plane. Don't become a own terrorist on your own plane. Just let it go and stick with it. We mentioned it's a conveyor belt. At the beginning of the conveyor belt, an engine may not look like anything, but at the end of the conveyor belt, you've got a fully fledged car. Today we're talking about the engineer, and probably my favorite role in the three of these roles in this analogy of being productive and likening it to the plane, the pilot, and the engineer. The engineer's role is to optimize. His goal is to figure out ways to save fuel on your journey and figure out what's the best use of your time. Now, I'll give you an example. You can write a journal with your handwriting. You can write a journal on your computer. You can write your journal on your smartphone. But the beauty of writing a journal is being able to come back and remembering what you've written. So I found a system that allows me to come back and periodically review what my journal entries were. And so that's where the engineer comes in. He comes in, he figures out which are the best apps, which are the best systems that will help us stay on the plane and will help the plane get to its destination quicker. So I've made a few videos already that one of my favorite apps right now that's really changed my life is Microsoft To Do. And there's lots of other apps like Notion, Evernote, what's a couple others? I'm not too sure. But those are two of the popular ones. I think Trello, Slack. These are all ways that you can keep track of your life, essentially. And the engineer is the one that comes in and does that. And so, for example, I like to read books. So the engineer, he comes in, he says, well, the captain says, hey, let's get some more knowledge and let's take in some more, let's make our brains, exercise our brains a little bit more. So that's the direction of the plane. And from the pilot, the plane says, okay, we're gonna read so many pages each day, or we're gonna read so many books each month. And then the engineer comes in and he says, okay, well, if that's our goal set by the pilot, and if that's our destination, which our plane is flying towards, what's the best way that we can help and retain information into our brains? And so I found ways that I can help me to highlight, and not only highlight, but I can email myself these highlights, and one email will pop up every single day in my mailbox to kind of remind me, hey, you remember that time you read this book in this chapter on this day? And that thought will come right back up. It's called readwise.io. It's just basically a service, and they're offering a 30-day free trial if you want to try it out. Whatever highlights you make in your iBooks, which is the app that I've been using to read my books, whichever highlights you do, you can send it an email, and daily it'll kick back those emails to you as to remind you of what you've read. So that's another thing that the engineer of mine has done, and I just really like finding these things. I really like optimizing, finding ways to optimize and make things more efficient. Another one, a friend of mine, he loves his Google Home, and it is very appealing to me. He can give it commands, and it'll do a bunch of things for him right away. So he can say like Google good morning, and then after he just says that, it'll read him a day's text. It'll turn on his lights. It'll turn off the AC. It'll turn on the fan. Like, it'll do a lot. So, and it's not very expensive, but it's probably one of the things I'm looking forward to getting in the near future. Google Home, yeah, it's very appealing, very appealing. Yeah, so that's basically it. People have said it, iterated it 10,000 different ways, but essentially that's the analogy that Ali Abdaal gave on his YouTube channel that I've been able to take to heart a little bit more. The pilot, set the direction, and make sure you're going and doing useful things. You're not running on a treadmill, just staying in place. 2 is stay on the plane, which is 80% of the journey. The boring stuff, why we do these walks every single morning. Do that. And then the engineer, he comes in, he looks around, kind of like my father. My father was a genius with motors. But anyway, he looks around, and he says, I can make this ship fly faster, fly better. And that's his role. So what role did you like? Did you like the plane? Are you like the pilot? Do you like the engineer? And just remember that the plane is probably the most important. I don't know. They're all important. Because if you're not optimized, then it's going to be hard to stay on the plane. It's hard to stick with it if you're not finding ways that makes it easier for you. Not necessarily cheating yourself, but easier for you. And if you don't have any good direction, then you're kind of flying in circles. So they're all equally important. I like the engineer. That's probably my favorite. And my hardest would probably be the pilot, setting directions and being disciplined to do my daily dumps in the morning, my daily mind dumps in the morning, and to get on with that. So anyway, that's our analogy. I may come back with an equation tomorrow. We'll see how that works. But yeah, let me know what's your favorite and what's your most unfavorite role in our productivity analogy. All right, I'm gonna head up. It's a little bit late already. Love you, Jesse. Keep it up. Good news, this morning I hit 253 point something. So yeah, I'm on my way. That's 36 pounds down from 290 at one point in my life, and it's been real slow and gradual. So I've been really liking it. All right, Jesse. Aloha. Love you. Catch you later.